You are live now. Hello, 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 everybody. We are waiting for the peeps to join, and then I'm gonna say that again. It is Tuesday. I hope everyone had a great weekend. And our guest is here. So I'm going to let our guest in, and I am going to say all of the things. Hello, everyone joining. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Talk Tuesday. It's your girl, Ashley, the amateur expert. And I'm excited to have our guest with us
Good.
today, Adonis. What's up?
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, good. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I'm cool. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. Okay, how are you today?
Not bad yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Okay, let's hop right in. You ready?
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. So, thank you again for being a guest today. If you could please tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what you're doing currently for work.
I am Adonis the Gentleman. I'm a personal chef. I'm also the founder and CEO of the Gentleman's Kitchen as well as T.G.K. Hospitality.
Okay.
Um, I travel and cook all over, and I'm also have a catering company.
Mhm.
Um, and then I'm opening a restaurant first quarter next year.
Hoot, hoot, hoot. I've been asking on socials often for just a plate, right? Because I was able to experience some of Chef Adonis's food over the summer, and it was top notch. And he was like, this is not even the first batch. And
No.
so it was delicious. Okay, so when you were younger, did you want to be a chef? Is it something that you always wanted to do?
Um, so funny enough, when I was younger, I actually wanted to be an actor.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to be an actor. And then out of high school, I was going into college at
Okay.
16. So
Okay, wait, hold
when
on, pause. Just let's that's that's too fast because most of us don't go to college until we're 18, 17, 18, right? Okay, so you were preparing to be an actor like from 0 until 16, or how did you get advanced? What happened?
so when I was younger, I was in a lot of church plays.
Okay.
I was just like preparing, and then like even in my church, there were some people that were in the film scene, and they
Uh-huh.
was just like pushing me for it. And then when I was graduating high school, I was like preparing to go to theater school, like had my
Okay.
monologue down
Okay.
pack. Like I
Okay.
had some
Okay.
other producers that actually work in film that were getting me ready for my monologue. And I
Hmm.
remember I was 16, it was the day before my audition, and my father was out of town, and he had his friend prepping me.
Hmm.
And he looked at the sheet and he was like, "You know you gotta dance, right?" And I was like, "What?"
Oh,
I
snap.
was like, "Dance?" I was like, "All right, cool." He was like, "Yeah." He was like, "And you gotta sing." I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not doing it." I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it." So that was like literally instantly like I was like, "I'm not going to theater school anymore." And then
So you're 16 years old, your whole childhood, you're like, actor, gonna do this thing. And then the day before the audition, full stop. No
full
thanks,
stop.
just
I
kidding.
was like, "Yeah, I'm not singing. I'm sorry." So I was like, "That was it for me. That was it."
Wow. Okay, so then what did you do?
So from when I was young, my one thing that was normal was my mother and my father always took me to restaurants,
Okay.
food places, restaurants. It was always a thing. So with that, it was like I already had a taste for good food. So from there, I was like, I mentioned, I was like, "Yo, I want to go to culinary school,"
Mm,
and my dad dubbed it, like completely dubbed it. He like completely dubbed it, and then took me and sent me to school for business.
okay.
So I went to school for business.
At
Um,
16, or did you take a gap year or several? So this is still
So I went to school at 16. I went to college,
okay,
but
okay, okay,
it was after like stopping culinary school, I mean
mm-hmm,
stopping theater
mm-hmm,
school. I just went to some random school for like a semester, and then I took a year and then started
okay,
working. And
okay,
when I
okay.
started working, I was like literally using all my money to go to restaurants. Like that's all I was
Mm,
doing.
okay.
So then when I finally went to college for business, I was 18. And um from that I kind of fell into like the industry and like entertainment, like being around that circle. I used to my crew was this music group, so we
Wow.
was doing all that.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
from there I was going to school in business but working in
Mm,
fashion. Like, that was my thing.
mm,
Styling and design was my thing.
wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, it took a lot of shifts. It took a lot of shifts.
I love
Wait,
that.
hold on one.
Uh-oh.
All right, yeah.
Okay.
So from there, I did fashion. I
Hmm.
did, and until I fell out of love with the industry. And I was styling for a while, doing some magazine stuff, doing some other stuff,
Hmm.
editorials, and I had like brief period where I was like not sure what I was gonna do
Right.
next. But
Right.
I was working at a casino and just whatever. I was just like, all right, cool. I'll figure out I'll do. I was still running around the industry and just
Right.
figuring out what I wanted to do. And I was just one thing I always did was cook and eat. That's one thing I always did. One thing
That's
I
a
always
good
did was
life.
cook and eat.
That's a
Yeah.
good life.
And at one point I started to feel like the food quality started declining.
Mm.
And and
Okay.
from there I just like started cooking myself.
Hmm.
And then people started asking me to cook for their events.
Hmm.
And I was doing it until one event where I had to cook. I think it was like 80 pounds of chicken. Like it was like 7 pans of mac and cheese. It was like a ridiculous amount of food. And then after that, I was like, I can't do this for free
Oh,
anymore. I was like, I can't.
oh, hold on. You were doing this just out of the love of your heart.
Just love of the heart. Just love of my heart.
Ooh, and the passion for
I,
cooking.
was like, I can't do this anymore.
Sheesh. Okay, okay. So I want to back us up a little bit.
Mhm.
So when you were doing the church plays and you were an aspiring actor, what was your like idea of success, or how did you define it? Like how would you have known at that point like you became successful since you were going for that dream?
Um, so funny enough, back to my childhood, I was kept on a tight leash.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was one of those household situations where like you only could keep a small circle of
Mm-hmm.
friends. And like even with that, I wasn't allowed to do too much like outside of my the supervision of my home.
Yeah.
So with that, I used to whenever I'm out, I'm usually out with my family, my father, or
Mm-hmm.
like I'll be out with him to like barbecues or like dinners and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So what ended up happening was my circle ended up being my dad's circle in a
Mm-hmm.
sense. And that's what I compared my success to.
Mm, mm-hmm,
And they were
mm-hmm.
getting to that bag, like they
Yeah, I
were
can
getting to that
imagine.
bag.
I can
So,
imagine.
so from young, like my ambition was like, yo, I need to get where they are. Like, and that's
Mm-hmm.
all I seen. Like my father at that time was running a real estate office, and everybody was pulling up, and I was just like, yeah, like I'm there doing my homework, but I'm like, this is where I need to get. So from young, that like set me on a course where I'm
Hmm.
like, how do I get there? What do I need to do to get there to be actually established? And that's where I started.
Okay, that's really great. And I can see that, right? I can see that. And I feel like we all do that. Okay, so now that you are a chef, how do you define success? Have you changed it at all? If you have, why?
So I define success on essentially as a chef, I define success on how many outlets are like really enjoying my food, like the quality of my food, the consistency,
Mm-hmm.
and like where my reach is, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And I don't think my definition of success has changed. I just feel like it's more detailed, like it's more elaborate, like it's more understanding like what needs to be done or what do I need to do to get to where I want to do where like it's safe, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like it's consistent, people are
Mm-hmm.
consistently enjoying
Yeah.
it, my vision is actually executed properly. Like that's what defines it for me.
That's dope. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Okay, so now I want to jump back into you deciding, like, okay, I love y'all and I love food, but you're gonna have to pay me a little bit. So how did you pivot from being, um, a chef that was just doing it as a labor of love to something that you now charged for?
So, granted, I already had my network because of everything I was doing beforehand,
Mm-hmm.
right? But just that being said, um, it started just selling plates. I was just selling
Mm,
plates. I was working at the casino, and it's funny because every Friday I would come into work, I would wake up super early and like cook whole bunch of plates of
mm-hmm.
food, br- have it dropped off to like a hospital, have it dropped off
Mm-hmm.
to like a couple businesses, then
Okay.
go into work with my bag of plates, and like everybody would be pouring up to my plates, and that's how I started.
Got
Like,
it.
and then from there, I was doing a small events like every day, a couple celebrities,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't until COVID that it really like took a second to like really like figure out where I wanted to go with it because I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't thinking about it. I was just doing it.
Right.
And like I really started studying more, taking master classes, like doing whatever, and like figuring out what my vision was for the brand that I was moving forward.
That's good. That's good. So I hear that you were around people that not only helped to take your business and your dream to the next level, you also became a master in your field. Would you say that was correct?
Correct.
Yeah. I think sometimes people see the just like the success and they see like, oh wow, he's a dope chef and he's cooking for a da 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 da. But it's like, well, first it was free, right? Like there was a process to getting there. So I appreciate you sharing that with us. So I am the founder of Affirmed Armor, which is a clothing brand that I started to remind people about the truths that they may have forgotten about themselves. And so I wonder if you can share with us an affirmation that you use or have used, and then if you can share some of the tips and motivators you've used along your journey to keep you going when things didn't feel like they were going your way.
In terms of affirmation, my affirmation is usually just like reassuring like where I see my vision going, what it's
Mm-hmm.
capable of, like the quality, like the fact that even in the top of whatever the top the tops of whatever is in my lane, like I'm still like there, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm still seeing like my quality still there, like the capability still there, the potential is endless.
Mm-hmm.
I reassure myself in that, especially when I'm feeling like, dang, is this gonna really go? Like, is this gonna? Because as a creator, as the entrepreneur, you always wonder like, is this good enough?
Yes, yes.
Like, but you always have to make sure you realize like, this is really it.
That's
And
literally
then like
what my
there's
hat says. I am enough. Because it's true. Sometimes you're like, but they're doing, nah, but you got it.
exactly.
I am enough. That's dope. And then along the journey, as you were pivoting, how did you like motivate yourself to keep going as you were sort of trying to find your way to becoming this celebrity chef that you are today?
It's funny because when you're along your journey, it's gonna be a lot of people that's telling you what you need to do or what you should do, and like, oh, if
Hmm.
you do this, you'll make more money. And I feel like a big part of it is acknowledging the fact that making money is not necessarily being successful,
Hmm.
number one. And number
Yeah.
two, like making money immediately may not take you where you need to go to
Hmm.
grow
Yeah.
in the long run.
Yeah.
And execution is everything. So like for me personally, I realized that I didn't want to just sell food. I wanted to create a brand.
Hmm.
And with that brand, it had a lot of times where I had to like not do certain things that would have made me money, even though like cool, bills had to get paid,
Hmm.
so on and so forth. But like certain things will still hurt your brand, even
Hmm.
though it will make you money right now,
Yeah.
right? And if you have a picture of what you want to do, you shouldn't stray from that just to make a couple dollars, because in the long run, it's gonna hurt your overall vision and where you want to be.
That is so true. You cannot compromise because when you settle, it shows. Um, it says Adonis, someone put Sharonda. Hey, Sharonda. She put in the comments. Adonis also says, "I'll figure it out." It's like a win-win. Laugh. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I love that I'll figure it out spirit. With God, with with God we can do all things, and so I'm just like, it's figureoutable. We'll make it work. We will make it work. Okay, Adonis. So we are coming to the end of our conversation. I want to be sure that we give you the opportunity to share how we can support you, what you have coming up, and maybe like one of the most exciting moments that you've had so far this year.
Okay, so a lot of people, a lot of my followers don't even know this, but I've been in the process of opening T.G.K, the steakhouse. It's a Caribbean steakhouse coming in first quarter next year. I've been real quiet about it. I didn't want to drop too much, but it's been a process. I'm opening up a Caribbean steakhouse with a gentleman spy twist. So, for people that know my whole journey, knows that I used to design suits and formal wear for men's, luxury formal wear for men's.
Okay,
So
when did you have the time to do that? When?
this is when I was doing the fashion. This is when I was doing that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay,
So
okay.
it was mostly like suits and stuff, but it had like a lot of exotic leathers, snake skins,
Mm-hmm.
pythons, all the other stuff.
Dope.
So I got my inspiration for the theme of the restaurant from the movie Kingsman. And
Mm,
it's essentially like a whole secret spy type gentlemanly restaurant, which goes on brand with the Gentleman's Kitchen.
yeah.
So we have some secret doors that slides to get to private rooms. We have like a whole display case that's gonna have suits that I've designed all in there
Dope.
that you can also purchase and get fitted for
Dope.
in the restaurant.
Dope. Dope.
Um,
Dope.
and on top of that, it's gonna be great food and great cocktails. My business partner, Aaron, he made a ridiculous cocktail list, and it's going to be insane. The food menu is insane, and then it's just so much because it's a big spot. We said about 175 people seated.
Okay. Nice.
Um, for
Congrats.
people from New York, for people from New York would know that it used to be a spot called Caribbean Social, but the space is a big space. So we've been renovating it. We're getting very close to finishing, and it's going to be a very unique experience. I feel like people in New York are Brooklyn is where it's at right now in New York. People don't want to travel to the city anymore, so to give an upscale luxury culture spot in
Mm-hmm.
Brooklyn, I feel like it's been needed. So we're opening first quarter next year.
So dope.
Yeah, it's gonna be
So
amazing. It's
dope.
gonna be amazing. We do brunch 4 days a week.
Ooh.
Yeah. I want to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Monday for the people that work remote
Yep.
and you want to come someplace and get some brunch and hang out. Like that's the place to be. I'm trying to cater to our generation a lot. So yeah.
That's dope. Congratulations. I can't wait to come back home and I will for sure visit. I think my mom was in the chat for a second. So we're bringing her and we'll be pulling up. I am excited and hungry already. If you want to, like if you need us to test some items, you can send it to LA, like overnight it. We can work that out or I can
You know
give
what?
you
I'm ashamed to admit I've never been to California yet. I've never been to California yet. And I think I need to do this. I think I need to have a tasting in California.
I
Um,
think
I
it's
think
appropriate.
I think it's appropriate. I have, yeah, it's a lot of people requesting it, and I just have not done it yet. But I think I'm gonna do it. Um, I'm working a couple things. We're trying to do we're trying to do a
I was
pop
gonna
up, a
say a
TGK pop
pop
up.
up. Yeah, that would be dope.
So we're trying to do actually a 1 month pop up in the vineyard next year.
Okay, okay,
Um,
okay.
that's you left early, so you didn't have the
I missed
lobster rolls,
I
the
missed
jerk
it.
truffle lobster rolls. Yeah.
Sheesh.
So we're trying to do we're trying to do a pop up in the vineyard next year. But I'm
Okay,
thinking of also doing some other pop ups in places that are potentially the next restaurant areas. So
dope.
that's something we
Well,
could
keep
work
me
on. Yeah.
posted. I'll definitely let
I
you
will.
know. Or I can help you to try to coordinate it. But I think that would be dope because in LA, I don't feel like there's a lot. I won't be shady. I don't think that there's a lot of good options in regards to Caribbean food. So I think that would be chef's kiss. Um, Okay, so I am the amateur expert and I claim to know a little bit about a lot. And so I wonder if you can share with me a random fact or just something that I can say Adonis taught me. It could be something about sharpening knives, it could be something about a food temperature, or it could be just anything that you might have read uh, on a Snapple fact, anything, any random anything.
Hmm. I will. All right. Two quotes. Two
Okay,
of my favorite
okay.
quotes. One is, "There's no knowledge that's not power."
Ooh.
I feel like everything I've experienced in life, the accumulation
Mm-hmm.
of my experiences is the
Mm-hmm.
wealth of my knowledge has brought me
Mm-hmm.
to who I am today. It could
Love
be
that.
from shows, it could be from anime, it could be anything I watch.
Mm-hmm.
It all played a part in who I am today. So don't take anything for granted. All knowledge is valuable in some form, some shape or form.
Love that.
So that's one. And proper preparation prevents failure. Don't
Woohoo.
have anything. Make sure you feel like you're ready. Make sure you do it properly because there's no second impressions.
Now that is a fact. Adonis, this was great. I've learned so much about you, and I'm excited to support you and everything that you and your business partner have coming up. I also want to share that if you are just joining us, that the podcast will be available wherever you listen to podcasts later on today. Last week's is up and streaming. Shout out to Brandon, who is our audio engineer. He gets us right. And so Adonis, thank you again. Everyone follow him. What are you have a few different ads. What are your handles?
It's Adonis the Gentleman, Adonis underscore the underscore gentleman, and there's also TGK NYC for the steakhouse. We're redoing it, so everything, all the new content I'm shooting right now is gonna be on the restaurant page soon once we're doing the release. But thank you for having me. Thank you for taking the time, and yeah, I look forward to work with you in the
For
future.
sure, for sure. Okay, everyone, have a great day. Enjoy your Tuesday, and we will see you next week.
Bye.